I wanted to be pierced. I kept telling myself I couldn't afford it, but it just kept getting cheaper and cheaper until I needed a new excuse. Okay, so I was tired of myself. I was a good boy. Tasteful, classy, hold the door tight. Rode a 10 speed, but I wanted more. I wasn't necessarily fitting in. It was Jake. Jake wore enough metal on him to make a chain link fence and had so many tattoos that his skin was alien green. I was expecting a third eye somewhere. We lived our nonconformist dreams through Jake. He was popular because he was adventurous. Whenever the eyebrow ran out of steam, he moved on to the lip or the upper ear. He'd have a bald eagle tattooed on his back, flying across the Rockies. He was a thin but muscular canvas. Whenever he worked out, the bald eagle would fly across like a hologram. It would look good if he kept working out. Frankly, all of us were grossed out by the whole thing, but we didn't dare say it. At least, not in public anyway. We weren't necessarily friends, him and me. At least not at first. I didn't want to be like him, but I wanted people to think I was. I got potential. So then the people who I didn't want to be friends with would be friends with me. Yeah, it wasn't a good goal, but it was mine. Bro, if you're gonna do it all the way. Don't stop for society's sake. Yeah, Jake lisped. He never really figured out how to stop it. But as long as his mouth had more holes in it than Friday the 13th Part 7, we really never gave him the benefit of the doubt. And if it bothered people, he'd just go away from them. His look said plenty. Attention is like a drug. People will go out of their way to get that hit of feeling important, but it can be dangerous if taken too far. Jake is one of these people. With constant amounts of tattoos and piercings, he's always looking for a way to one-up himself. But are the long-lasting effects on his body really worth the attention he gets? This is the story of a boy who looked up to him, but realized that being himself was just as important. This is My Name Isn't Bro by Jay Rabushka. So there was this girl named Rena, and she never shut up. We weren't even sure if she liked Jake. We thought she just dated him for the social benefits. I mean, he was in, and she was in, and I was working for a conservative legal firm, where a woman with pierced earrings told me, if you gonna pierce your eyebrow, I suggest you seek employment elsewhere. Bro, don't the establishment push you around? But Jake, the establishment pays me. Bro, someone else will pay you. Jake, my name is not Bro. What I'm saying is you gotta rise up against the establishment. You gotta be the establishment. No one tells Jake what to do, except me. Yeah, Rena stuttered. That's why Jake took her on. They made the whole speech defect thing look cool after years of misery and taunts. It's when it all came together. They weren't freaky. They were special. We all wanted to be like that. Of course, her family got into it. Rena, if you pierce your tongue, you're not going to be able to talk at all. Rena's mother was dead set against Rena's newfound popularity. I mean, Jake was a bad boy, and Rena was a good girl. Wrong side of the tracks and all. Mom, I love him, and he likes to hear me talk. Jake had an inordinate amount of patience. Anyone who can get the entire tagline, State of Arizona, tattooed on his thigh, with a tagline of get your kicks at the Route 66, he could basically put up with anything. Didn't matter how long it took for him to talk, or her to talk. Bro, it's everything or nothing. You know you're gonna get old one day. I told them that we're gonna have to give half of Arizona back to the Mexicans. I told them that eventually all those tattoos were gonna look outdated, and it was all gonna fall off on them. And if he wasn't careful, half of Flagstaff was gonna fall into Sedona. Oh, it's just a state of mind, bro. If you call me bro one more time, I am gonna call you a lightning rod. But bro means he thinks you're cool. Cool? But I work for the establishment. I haven't mutilated myself, and I work for a legal firm. So, if you're living the life the way you want to, then I think you're cool. You can't be like Jake. No one can. And in walks in her family. Hypothetically, at least. Rena, I do not want you associating with that boy. Mom! Truth was, Jake was the only one that she could hang out with. The only one that let her talk. That's when it made sense. I thought they were together because of the social convenience, but they were together because they loved each other. They had no one else. Rena only had her family, and they knew it. They didn't like the intrusion or even try to understand it. They wanted her to be alone, I guess. One day, the whole family ganged up on her. Ew, Arizona? Why would he get a tattoo of Arizona? He doesn't even live there. A tattooed uncle joined in. You know, when I was in the Navy, we did this because we respected ourselves. We tattooed ourselves because we knew when to stop. Kids these days have no idea what it's like to stop. And then it goes on for like 10 minutes talking about how kids these days have no idea what it's like to stop. And then there was Aunt Chastity. Ew. When I was a girl, we dated boys who respected themselves. Kids these days have no idea what that's like. And he lisps. Out of all the boys you picked the one that talks like a fairy. So finally, Rena just blurted out, "You were never a good girl. You're an ugly witch who's 600 years old." Rena could hardly talk at all when she was angry. She just moved into depression. At least, that's what Jake told me. Didn't matter because Rena went off to college. Her family paid for her financially, and Rena couldn't let go because she was so used to being in her comfort zone, oddly enough. Jake couldn't take care of her. He spent all of his money at the tattoo parlor, the piercer, and the gym. He couldn't get a job because he lisped. He only stood out in a few places as a waiter or a courier. Bro, she left me. She left me because of the book. Hey, I'm sorry. I thought love was supreme. I thought love was eternal. Why don't you two just get some speech therapy? It's worked usually. We are what we are, bro. A real man can do a 12-pack and drive home safely to tell. Jake, you are so fake with all of that decor. If you talk like a man, you wouldn't have to spend all your time trying to act like one. I knew I heard Jake at that moment. I could see it in his eyes. He regretted everything he said with Rena. I could see it to her heart. Now, no one left to look into mine. As penance for my words, I impulsively found myself running from Jake. I just kept driving and driving until I came across the nearest tattoo parlor. I could already feel the needle going through the top of my eyebrow. I went home straight from work, just still wearing my suit and everything. You are so not the right type for this, says the guy in a muscle shirt, in a room that smelled of sterility, with a bicep the size of my neck. I didn't know if this was a barrier or an invitation. We say that to everyone. Some dudes to keep people away. I did it because I wanted to. I did it because I had to. Jake started dyeing his hair purple, blue, green. It's okay to be, and at the same time be sad and lonely. I guess it just takes a cool guy to admit that. Now Jake has no one. He is no one. And he delivers packages, saying the same line of thank you and good morning with no S's. I got me a girl, and she hates Jake. I mean, not exactly hates. I just can't be seen around him. I just can't go with a man who can't respect himself. Might as well have dated your mother, she says as she picks my dirty socks about the floor. No, we weren't living together, and no, I didn't ask. Whatever, honey. Times change. What's weird is, I don't think Jake ever knew my name. I guess it don't matter, bro.